Can y'all hear me? Alright, good. Let me start off. I am fucking pissed. I'm very fucking angry and I'm very fucking tired. Because why is it that while we're here and they are having their little song competition, there's a bunch of fucking Nazis across the street doing whatever the fuck they do? And why is it that the fucking state allows this? Let me tell you. I am fucking exhausted that the Dutch government continues to put oppression, continue to put bigots and Nazis over the lives of queer and marginalized people. But honestly, I can't say I'm that surprised. Let me tell you about me. I was born in this city, born in Crooswijk, which some of you might know, known for a while to be the poorest goddamn neighborhood in the entire country, infested with immigrants. So, I was born to a wonderful mother, a Kurdish woman who had to flee our ancestral land because she was fighting for liberation. I was born to a father who has been through immense, horrific bullshit, torture, all for freedom. Growing up Kurdish, growing up... Anyway, tell them. Growing up Kurdish, growing up lower class, growing up a second-class immigrant, growing up queer and growing up trans. All these things made me become scarily familiar with the concept of oppression before I could even fucking spell the word. For a long time, I didn't know where to place those feelings. The frustration, the pain, and more importantly, the fucking anger I held towards the world. Now I know where to place it, where the pain came from, and I'm angrier than ever. Angry that it's white men in fancy suits sitting in cities built on the backs of slaves that decide if we are worthy enough to be deemed human. Angry that it's BPOC that need to be quiet about their suffering because, oh, maar je doet niet gezellig, doe even normaal. Angry that it's the lives of my black brothers and sisters that are nothing more than a debate topic in our schools. Angry that my trans sisters cannot leave their homes without wondering whether they'll be safe, whether they'll make it back home. I'm fucking angry that constantly I have had to lose people I consider family, murdered, blown to fucking bits overseas, and no one seems to give a fuck. I am fine with being labeled the angry immigrant, the angry one, because I don't expect people who've been living in their white privilege to expect the pain I feel for not just my people, not just my community, but for the marginalized people across the world. I don't expect y'all to understand where this rage comes from, and that it comes from a place of heartbreak, and from a place of mourning, being tired of waking up and seeing more of my people dead. Black trans women and femmes, just another statistic long forgotten. Brown and black people, just another passing headline. Indigenous lands destroyed. Yes, I'm fucking angry, but why the fuck aren't you? White supremacy is not something that appeared out of thin air. It's the thing that formed the world as we know it. It rears its ugly head in the form of transphobia, in the form of anti-blackness and anti-indigenous sentiment, in the form of Sinterklaas and the toeslagenaffaire and much more. It's a virus, it's a fucking parasite, and I want it destroyed. When I was asked to come speak, I was asked what queer revolution meant to me and how it could be achieved. And frankly, there's just one fucking answer to that question. It's the complete destruction of white supremacy and capitalism, to destroy these systems rigged against those of us who do not fit within it, those of us who are not cis, those of us who are not heterosexual, and more importantly, those of us who are not white. We've been fed the lie that if we work hard enough, we'll make it. We'll be one of the equals. We'll be considered just as important as the people up top. We're forced to exploit ourselves for a system that never wanted us, never will want us to take a seat at the table. So as many have said before me, fuck the table, I will build my own. You cannot fix a system that was never meant to include you. I know you have good intentions, but let's be honest, you're being naive if you think that under capitalism, under white supremacy, you'll ever have a fucking chance to sit at the table. Never have marginalized people received rights by asking nicely for it. It's always been a fight, and it will always be a fight. It's a fight I am prepared to fight for the liberation of our people. They can tokenize us, they can try to distract us by their lies and their attempts to diversity, but at the end of the day, it doesn't mean shit when we are not free. When so many of us still wake up wondering if they'll survive the year, the month, or even the day without any trouble, without having to fear how they're gonna fucking feed themselves. It's better to die fighting for freedom than it is to live as a prisoner. And until we are all free from the wretched ass bullshit, none of us are free. In the Western world, we are told to focus on the individual. There's no sense in having community, right? They do this for a very good reason. They want us estranged from each other, apart, because when we are together, that's when we get shit done. Yes, we will be condemned. Yes, we will be demonized like the ones before us, like the Black Panthers, like the Kurdish revolutionaries, like the thousands of indigenous cultures still today fighting colonialism, like the Sylvia Riveras and the Marsha P. Johnsons of the world. We have to fight for a better future, for a better world. We cannot let them win. There's no space for Nazis. There's no space for bigotry. We are stronger together. Don't forget that. There will always be people to silence us, to protect their positions of power, and they can try all they fucking want, but I'm not going anywhere. So fuck Mark Rutte and fuck the Dutch state.